the health risk services contract. Which,
To what?
The health risk services tender contract. Can we just go there? You deal with it from paragraph 16 of the draft statement. Of the statement. On page 5. You see it there?
Yes, I see it.
Yeah. So,
may I please take Honorable Sangwan?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Apologies, SC. No, I'm being disturbed by Mr. Matlala's response to not wanting to answer questions after he had taken the oath, which was based on you having read to him, Chairperson, the immunities that are there for him in line with the Powers and Privileges Act, specifically 16.2, which says a person who is being examined under oath or affirmation in terms of section 15 may be required to answer any question put to him in connection with the subject of the inquiry, produce any document that he or she is requested to produce under the section, despite the fact that the answer or the document would incriminate him or would tend to expose him or her to criminal and civil proceedings. Now, it was said when we started that we are not in a court of law. We do operate under the legislation, specifically the Powers and Privileges Act of Parliament. And I think we're going to have to get resolution on that matter, Chair, because we can't have a witness that appears, has taken an oath and then says, I can't answer because I may incriminate myself. I think we need direction on that matter. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to find out, it's a follow-up. I heard that somebody was paid, Mr. Matlala, I'm not sure, through you, Chair. Who was paid?
Are you referring to the Medicare contract?
Yes.
That was management fee that I was talking about.
Who was paid?
The holding company.
You paid the holding company?
The management fee, yes.
Yeah, because I'm through you, Chair, I'm not sure whether that management fee was part and parcel of the contract itself, the money which you paid to the...
Between myself and the holding company, yes.
Or it was your contract between you two?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not the police?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Sangwen is right that when we administered oath here, we read to you the relevant section in the rules that the evidence that you depose here under oath is part of the immunities that you enjoy here, cannot be used against you anywhere outside.
Okay, can I answer to that?
You are welcome to say anything.
They cannot be used against me by who? Because if you say they cannot be used against me by the committee, that I understand. But if someone is investigating me and there's something that I'm saying, they will use it against me.
Yeah, what we have read from you here comes from what we call a national legislation, which is about the powers, privileges, and immunities of Parliament and provincial legislatures. The Act is an Act of 2004. So any person who has been invited to appear before Parliament or a committee of Parliament takes an oath. And the privileges or immunities that go with you having taken an oath under that legislation is that any information or evidence that you depose before a committee or a House of Parliament can never be used anywhere outside that committee or House of Parliament. So it means there is nobody who can come to you and say, this is the evidence that you deposed before a committee or a House of Parliament. It can't be used. It's only Parliament that has that exclusive right to use that evidence, because you shall have taken oath through us.
Okay. But
Ikwa gala botse.
ya kwa hala mara ha ke nkwishishi. My concern is, firstly, I heard you saying when you were speaking about the immunities, you were speaking about there's some other exceptions which you mentioned, and also whoever who might be investigating me might come later and say that I heard this from my source, not from the committee, and then use that against me.
Your hand is up, Honorable Malim.
No, Mr. Matlala, it simply means that whatever you share in this committee will never be taken from this committee and say on the basis of this, we are charging you because you gave the committee this evidence which is incriminating you, and therefore we are using it to charge you. So let's say on Medicare, they can't say, you are not charged with Medicare. They can't say what you said here about Medicare is now being used as evidence to charge you on the basis of you saying it here. But if they come and say a source gave us this, obvious, in a criminal case, they will have to reveal who is this source and what is the credibility of the source and where did the source this evidence that is being used against you. And if it comes back to Parliament, it will not stand the test of time in a court of law because you produced it here in Parliament.
Yes, I hear him very well, but also I heard you mentioning some exceptions with these immunities, but I didn't get those exceptions. That
It's a charge of perjury.
yes, perjury, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Or a charge relating to evidence or documents required in these proceedings. So, if only any information or any evidence that is required by these proceedings, we mean now you and us as we continue with the hearing. So, I want any other case or any other charge that is contemplated here outside of the proceedings that we have with you.
Okay.
Ke nyaka gore o re ko go kwela lekganyana.
Go kwa go kwele,
Wa e kwešiša?
partly.
Okay. Which is the part that you do not understand?
I'm more concerned about the investigators because they're not going to come here and, as much as they can say that we heard it from a source, and then they will never even reveal who is their source, and which is, they even have the right to protect their own source. So some of the things, they might be technical. So I cannot guarantee myself that 100% they won't use it against me, but I take it that the committee cannot use it against me. But outside of this committee, whoever wants to investigate me, and then I'm making things easy for him by me, maybe there was something that they wanted to use it against me, then I'm giving it to them on a silver platter.
So the law you understand is just that you have fears.
I wouldn't say fears.
Yeah. That even when the law protects you, it may be to a particular extent which may be limited.
What I'm saying, there might be a way to manipulate that same law that is protecting me. Or else I wouldn't be here today if that law is protecting me.
Yeah. But,
I'm in
no,
chains today because of the law that is protecting me.
yeah, it's the law that governs these proceedings. That if you have those concerns, or in the event your concerns come to a reality, you can still contact Parliament and say, this is what you committed, that it will not come back to me, and why am I now being harassed?
I think if we can do that with my legal team and then have it in writing, then I'm okay.
Let's say it's a matter which during break, your
Yes.
legal team and our team can deal with.
Then I'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, we cannot oppress you from raising any matter that you feel you want to raise, but at the end of the day, there must be a common understanding.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. SC, is that sufficient?
Chair, no, not quite. I would have expected and the committee to raise this issue. And they now have. And just to I would have expected and the committee to raise this issue. And they now have. And just to parliamentary committee enjoys immunity from prosecution. You are privileged in the sense that whatever you say cannot be used against you by any outside third party, unless, which is a constitutional issue, unless, of course, you lie, or you've committed a fraud, or you've told untruths, and someone from outside says, no, what you said here today, it's a lie. So as long as you are truthful before this committee,
Yes, yeah.
you enjoy immunity, you enjoy protection. And that is why the committee requests you to answer these questions truthfully, if you can.
Yes, Mr. Arance, I think when you take a break, if you can just consult with my legal team, and then I'll be more than happy to continue answering anything that you're asking.
Well, Mr. Forbe is here,
Yes.
and he's heard the discussion, the debate.
Yes.
So maybe during the lunchtime shortly, we
Of
can
course, yeah.
just confirm with you and give you some of his own advice. So just to revert to this health risk services tender contract and your interest in the Medicare business, you told us that. Sorry, Chair, may I proceed? Yeah. So there's these two persons, Messrs. Van Wyk and Venter. They are the directors in the Medicare 24 Holdings company. And they contacted you in 2017 and asked you whether you'd be interested in becoming involved and in securing some contracts which they could administer. Is that a summary of what you said earlier?
I said only Mr. Van Wyk, not both of them.
Oh, only Mr. Van Wyk.
Yes.
But you know the other person who also has an interest is Mr.
Yes.
Venter.
Yes.
You don't know their holding in the company or their shares?
No.
Or are they both directors in the company?
Last time I checked, yes.
Yeah. So that was already in 2017. So when was Medicare 24 Swani District? When was that formed or established as a separate entity?
I think it was in 2018.
In 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the question was, did you have to pay a fee, a franchise fee?
I said, yes, and I said a fee will be only paid upon securing a contract.
So the fee you paid was subject to you successfully bidding for a contract?
Yes, if a fee meaning a management fee of whatever they will need to do for that specific contract.
So no money actually exchanged hands? You didn't pay them, you could operate that franchise, like say if you buy a Woolies franchise or Engine franchise, you pay for the franchise and you operate it on your own, obviously subject to certain conditions.
That is different because when you buy Woolies or Engine franchise, it's already an operating business. So what I'm the revenue that I'm generating, so I have to wait to secure a contract first before I can generate any income. So I wouldn't pay for something which is not bringing any money to me at the moment.
Yeah. But did Medicare 24 Swani District, your franchise, did that do any business separately? And what was the nature of that business?
You mean except the SAPS contract?
Yes.
No. I was bidding for contract there and there, and then it was just the SAPS contract that I was lucky with.
So that's why I asked earlier, what was the deal? And I don't mean it in the pejorative sense. You didn't pay them up front. They would be paid because for the management services that they would render. So were there any other tenders or contracts that you procured through your franchise, the Swani District Medicare 24 franchise, between 2018 and 2024?
No, there's no any other contracts.
Did you? So what does that mean? So between 2018 and 2024, did you not have any business dealings with Mr. Van Wyk and Venter?
Yes, I was in the process of buying the whole holding group, but there was no business that I was doing with. So I wanted to own the whole holding company.
Okay. So in the meantime, between 2018 and 2024, did Medicare 24 Holdings, a holding company, did they render services in other hospitals, other institutions, like for example the Tembisa hospital?
No.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
Did they or you tender for the Tembisa hospital contract?
It was not a tender, and it was not even Medicare. So it was RFQs that you get based on the request from the department.
Yeah. So were you not involved at all, either directly or indirectly, in the Tembisa hospital tender?
Okay, what I'm trying to explain is my other companies, they were getting RFQs, requests for quotations.
Sorry.
Medicare 24 doesn't even have for you to get those RFQs, firstly you need to have a vendor number with a specific department. So Medicare 24 does not even have any vendor number with the Department of Health. So there's no any job that Medicare 24 did with the Department of Health.
Why do you think, or maybe you can tell us whether you're subject to the SIU? We know that the SIU is investigating or has investigated the Tembisa hospital matter. Why is your name mentioned in connection with that tender?
I would love to know as well.
Now, we only touch on it. If you go to page 35 of the draft statement,
35.
yeah, since we are dealing with this matter, you see there paragraph 137, 9 and 10,
You said page 35.
page 35, yes.
Yes, paragraph.
Paragraph 137.9 and 137.10.
Yes.
Do you want to read that, 137.9?
Regarding past dealings with Tembisa Hospital, my company has previously supplied them with RFQs. I have not been approached by any law enforcement agency regarding an investigation into me concerning Tembisa Hospital. There has been ongoing investigation by the SIU in regard to this matter, and I believe there is an inquiry docket open either by the SAPS or IDEC. And as a result, I cannot comment any further. Should I go to the next one?
Let's park the next one
Okay.
for a bit later. So just to pause there at 137.9, you say that your company has previously supplied them with RFQs, requests for quotations. What does that mean? Just elaborate.
Mr. Arons, like we said that we need to fix this thing because I haven't read this thing myself, not my company. The department will supply me with RFQs. So some of these things here, if I had time, then I would have corrected them. So it was the department that was supplying me with RFQs, meaning they're requesting for quotations that you must quote for whatever they needed at that time.
So what does all that mean? That you were requested by the department to supply them with quotations?
Yes.
So you were invited to quote for work
Yes.
by, is that the Gauteng Health Department?
Yes.
Okay, Novalo.
Yeah, Chair, I don't know if I heard the witness correctly. Mr. Matlala, did you say you did not read, you said this thing, so were you referring to a statement?
The statement, yes.
So you don't know what is contained in the statement?
I know it's a draft, but now I wanted to go through it and correct where there's mistakes and then sign it.
So it might, the statement might be having mistakes,
Obviously, I just saw now one now.
and if there are mistakes, you will correct them later.
That's what I wanted to do, yes.
So it's possible that this committee is questioning you on a statement which has mistakes,
It has mistakes. I just found one mistake as we speak.
and you will correct them later.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Matlala, you've seen these, or what is recorded in this draft statement.
Can you please just repeat that?
I say you've seen what's in this draft statement,
Yes.
and you've discussed it with Mr. Forbay.
Yes.
Of course, you're now under oath.
Yes.
So what, if I put something to you that's in this draft, which is incorrect or wrong, then you will correct us, isn't it?
Of course, yes.
So what I was asking you is about these RFQs. Why? Because it sounds to me that you don't, or you didn't have any track record in providing Medicare services from the time you bought this franchise in 2018 until you were awarded the SAPS contract in 2024.
I did not have what?
You didn't have a track record. You didn't have any contracts with private hospitals or with state hospitals to provide Medicare services. Isn't that so?
Yes, that's, yeah, you are right.
That is between 2018 and 2024.
Yes.
So my first question related to that is, why were you then requested to supply the Tembisa hospital with quotations? To do what? These RFQs.
I didn't request Tembisa to supply me. Tembisa is the other way around. The Department of Health is requesting quotations from the companies that are on their database. So what they do is they just go to the CSD and then they just choose a random company from the CSD and then they will send those RFQs there.
Yeah. So like anyone else, if you want to a state or a government contract, you make your application and you put all your details on the central the CSD, the central something database, like we also have to do as council, so it's not anything to do with whether or not you had a track record of rendering this service.
Yeah, you're not rendering service, you're just delivering them the goods that they're requiring. So there's no service that you need to render for them. They will ask, maybe they want 100 bottles of water, then you buy water wherever you buy them and supply it to them.
Yeah. So, so on what basis do you think you would have been awarded the Medicare Swani contract when you had no track record of rendering Medicare services or Medicare supplies, although that is your stated business? And on top of it, a 350 million rand contract.
Okay, if you buy a franchise, so you carry the profile of the holding company. So now I don't need, if I buy a KFC franchise, so the franchise profile, I don't know how to cook chicken, and then they have to teach me how to cook that chicken. So I'm still using the recipe from the holding company of KFC to cook that chicken. So even the same as Medicare, the holding company is the one who's going to do the work. They have the track record.
Were awarded. So the Medicare contract, the SAPS Medicare contract, on the basis of the record of Medicare 24 holdings?
Yes, which I also supplied them with these documents of the franchise document and the holding company's document.
But you applied, or you tendered rather, for the SAPS contract in the name of Medicare 24 Swani District, not in the name of Medicare 24 Holdings.